All right,
Thanks.
for more on this, let's bring in Kaylee McGhee, White, Fox News contributor, and Charlie Gasparino, Fox Business senior correspondent. Kaylee, let me go first to you. That's a big victory. I thought it was a lame apology, and it showed up like in an email, but I do think the president forced the issue and got it going in the right direction.
It's a significant win for young women like myself across this country. And I think it's also a significant win for the battle against the woke agenda more generally. I think that I agree with you that the apology was clearly forced and a bit half-hearted. But what it revealed is that really the only thing that we need in order to defeat the left's ideological agenda are leaders with a spine. I would reckon that University of Penn, a lot of these other institutions that have pushed radical gender ideology and some of these other woke concepts, did so not out of a deep-rooted ideological commitment to the issues, but because they figured it was the path to least resistance. Donald Trump has flipped the table and he has said, no, actually, you're going to pay a price for pushing these concepts. And look at how quickly they caved. I mean, quite frankly, some of the concessions are very embarrassing for the university, and yet they still made them.
Yeah, Charlie, this is like common sense. These are like 80, 90% issues, right?
Part of me really wants to celebrate this, but it's sad that we have to celebrate this, isn't it? I mean, the fact that, first off, I would disagree with one thing you said, that it was the path of least resistance. I really believe these cultural institutions, academia is part of it, has bought into wokeness. I mean, they are part and parcel of the woke agenda. They're foot soldiers in the woke movement. So what makes it so sad is that you need the president of the United States to step in and say, guys, women should be competing against women, not men competing against women, and having to twist their arms to think about how sick that is.
Well, they're going to have to deal with it with the Olympics. I mean, you got men participating.
Well, that's a whole other story. And I wonder,
in boxing, for goodness sake.
I mean, that is just so nuts. But I do want, but these are, this is a big cultural issue. And you know what's fascinating about this cultural issue? While all these major institutions, business, I wrote a book about wokeness in the business culture, schools, the arts, while they're all so woke, 70% of the country, 80% of the country is definitely not woke.
Yeah.
And that's why Donald Trump, say what you want, keeps coming out ahead.
Yeah, I remember when President Trump said you're going to get tired of winning, and it feels like that right now. Yes. One of the things, personally, the president has been highly successful on is if you look at this growing list of companies that have had to cough up some significant money in losing their legal battles, the latest being Paramount and CBS. Yeah. But you've got Disney, you've got Meta, you've got X and Twitter on censorship. I mean, look at that money that's going to go towards that one big, beautiful presidential library that he's going to build at some point.
The Paramount thing is interesting because it's $16 billion, headline number, current management has agreed to pay. But what I'm reporting, it should come out in the New York Post in a few minutes, is that there's another $15 to $20 million that's going to come out in public service ads that are pro-Trump public service ads. To fight anti-Semitism, to fight issues that are near and dear to the president's heart, to fight anti-Semitism, pro-vet. It's likely to be paid to the new owner of Paramount, which will be Skydance, independent studio run by David Ellison, who's, by the way, Larry Ellison of Oracle fame's son. Yeah. So this is even bigger. I mean, we're talking like in the 30 range here.
Well, and keep in mind that the only reason that Paramount had to go to this settlement in the first place is because 60 Minutes refused to release the unedited transcript of its interview with Kamala Harris. All of this could have been avoided. Yeah. And the fact that they would rather settle for millions upon millions of dollars rather than go to discovery should tell us a lot about the state of legacy media. They're not doing this out of some, commitment to neutrality or nonpartisanship, as they might claim. They're doing it so that they can continue to pretend that they are. They know what comes out in Discovery, and they don't want that to happen.
That would have been a great Discovery. Could you imagine the conversations about Kamala Harris's word salad that they allegedly cut out? The only thing I would say about this lawsuit, though, it is somewhat frivolous, and here's why. Trump won. There's no damages, and he's still got
an example out of
He still got $16 million cash out of it.
That's the only way they learn is they hit him in the pocketbook. I think that was true at the universities. I think it's true with the social media and the media companies. But one that's brewing here is the new Democratic nominee for mayor here in New York. Zohran Mamdani, you got Trump who's weighing in on here, Kaylee. This is not something the president or anybody, I think a lot of people, they're concerned. You got a socialist, an outright socialist that wants to be the next mayor of the largest city in the United States.
Yeah, this is a winning issue for Trump. It's a winning issue for Republicans. I mean, keep in mind that even New York City moved to the right in 2024. Yeah. Many of these deep blue urban districts actually did move towards the right, towards Trump. And, you know, when you look at Zohran Mamdani's agenda, it's not going to be difficult for Trump to portray this as the new face of the Democratic Party, because it's actually not far from where the Democratic mainstream is. People have talked a lot about Mamdani's plan to create state-run or city-run grocery stores. Remember that their own Democratic presidential candidate had a very similar plan to crack down on grocery price gouging. That was a part of her platform. That was the Democratic Party's mainstream. So they're not going to be able to run from this.
It is going to be instructive, though, I think, on a national level in this sense. It does, no matter what you say about Trump MAGAism, I mean, he's a conventional moderate Republican. I mean, you just look at this big, beautiful bill. We're not talking about slash and burn. We're not talking about massive tax increases. Trump policies are moderate. And by the way, MAGA is basically moderate Republicanism. Now, you look at the fringe, what they would say is the fringe, or more than the fringe. You look at the sort of base of the Democratic Party. It's insane. It's Mamdani. Think about that. How does the base of the Democratic Party being represented by a guy that wants to defund the police, tax white people more, he said it, right, won't disavow, globalize the intifada, you know, that stupid thing that he wants to do with the grocery stores. I mean, you could go on and on. And that's mainstream Democratic politics. And all you have to do is look at the mainstream Democratic leaders basically patting him on the back when he won. Chuck Schumer said, great campaign, Zohan.
Real quickly, Charlie, do you think there's going to be this exodus from New York City?
If he wins, yeah. I mean, what's stopping people? I mean, a lot of people have left. We've had population outflow now for a long time. It's something I've been writing about. But, you know, it's never been easier to set up shop in New Jersey and work from home.
New Jersey isn't exactly
Florida,
a step up.
Tennessee.
I'm sorry, folks, but I'm thinking like Tennessee, Florida, Utah.
But it is a step up compared to this guy.
Yeah.
And if Jack Ciarello wins the Republican governor, the Republican for governor,
enough.
It's definitely going to be a step up.
Yes. And at least it's just, you know, a tunnel away.
Yes.
Kaylee McGhee White and Charlie Gasparino, thanks so much.